Hello everyone, happy National Rejection Day, otherwise known as the London Marathon Ballot Results Day. Now, I am feeling slightly smug, not because I've got a place, in fact I haven't, and I got my rejection email just now, so this is reaction face, but I am feeling smug because I said it would be a Thursday. I just didn't feel right to me that it would be yesterday, so I said it would be today, although I did also say it would be a Thursday back in June, so it wasn't completely right, but then nobody is. Welcome to the channel. I'm Sarah and I'm here to help you have a lovely marathon. So if marathons are your thing, or you'd like them to be your thing, please drop me a follow, like this video, subscribe to the channel, comment below and let me know what kind of content you'd find helpful and I will do my best to oblige. So that said, today we are talking about the ballot. I am going to assume that you have been unsuccessful in the ballot because at least 1.2 million of us, of the 1.3 million that applied, have got that sorry not this time email. So let's talk about what happens next, but also kind of what we can learn from how we're feeling right now and what that can tell us. Before we start talking about what some of your options might be if you didn't get in through the ballot, let's actually rewind a step, because if we jump straight away to thinking about what you can do next, we kind of miss out some of the important learning that's actually hidden away in the whole rejection process and in how you feel about being rejected. Now, I know this might be a little bit raw right now. If you have been applying to London for many years, if it's your dream to get in, if you've never been successful in the ballot and that you've never found a way to get into London, then you're probably feeling fairly sore right now, and I understand that, I really do. But let's have a think about what rejection can teach us about dealing with life's challenges. So if you are feeling a little bit disappointed by that not this time email that came through from the London Marathon, then here are 5 things that I think it would help you to bear in mind. And for this part of the video, I have a little fairy companion curled up on my lap. I think she's out of shot, but you might hear her purring, and she's definitely calming me down. So maybe my first point should be go and find a nice pet or a nice human to cuddle with their consent. Obviously, it's not a good idea to cuddle a cat without their consent. Sometimes that can end badly. But the first thing I want you to bear in mind is that London Marathon ballot rejection is the best kind of rejection. So I know that sounds weird and you might not be ready to hear it yet, but bear with me. So it's not personal. Hugh Brasher has not spent the last few months personally reviewing everybody's application and deciding whether or not you're worthy of a place. It's completely random. So there's nothing you could have done differently in order to be selected. So I think it's useful to take that as a little bit of consolation. But also under the it's the best kind of rejection category is the fact that it's communal. So almost everybody you know will be in the same boat as you. So they'll also will have received that not this time email, and it's almost as though it's more isolating if you're one of the very few people who have got in. I mean, I know it's a first world problem and you'll probably cope with the fact that you feel slightly awkward telling people that you've got a place when so many people are disappointed, but there we go. It's almost a national pastime, and you know, possibly it is preparing us for the disappointment that we might face when Arthur Ferry gets knocked out of Wimbledon or England lose in the World Cup. I mean, if either of them win, I think we'll be entirely distracted from our ballot disappointment. So there we go. Also, it's not final. So you can apply again next year, the year after that, the year after that. You can keep applying. And really, there's no kind of upper age limit on running the marathon. My mum is 74 and ran her first marathon this year. So she got in after 3 years of trying. It took me, I think, 14 or 15 years to get my first place in the ballot. But if you keep going, you'll get there eventually. But also, remember that you've got lots of other options, and the ballot is just one way of getting into the London Marathon. And that leads me on to my second point, which is finding the right route for you is the important part. And this is why I kind of want you to pay a little bit of attention to how you're feeling right now, because if you can dig into that feeling of disappointment and rejection, if you can work out why running the London Marathon was so important to you, what part of it, is it the running bit, is it the marathon bit, is it the being part of the London Marathon bit, is it that kind of test of human endurance that you want to kind of prove yourself as a human, you want to do hard things, like what is it specifically about a London Marathon place that's so important to you? And if you can dig into that, break that down, journal, go for a run, have a chat with someone about it, then that will help you work out what the best step is for you to take next, rather than you kind of rushing in a knee-jerk reaction to just go for the first charity that will accept you. Now, I want to say that running for charity is a brilliant thing, and I am very happy to help you with that, because that's my background and that's my passion. But I don't want you to apply as a knee-jerk reaction because you're feeling rejected at the moment. Because if you do that and you then get rejected by a couple of charities, it's going to make you feel worse, not better. Whereas if you're very considered about why it is that running the London Marathon 2027 is so important to you, you can prepare a much stronger application, and your chances of being successful with that charity, are much stronger. So point 3 is that greater challenge equals greater reward. The beauty of the marathon is that it is challenging, and for the London Marathon, getting in is part of the challenge. So if you were lucky in the ballot, then you beat the odds to get there. If you weren't lucky on the ballot and you've had to find another path, then you've had to put in extra effort than those people who were lucky in the ballot. And that extra effort, that extra energy, that energy you put into fundraising if you've got a charity place, or finding another route, training for good for age pace or what have you, that is what will add to your sense of accomplishment at the end. So point 4 is rejection builds the essential skill of resilience. And resilience is needed for handling the setbacks that we face in training for and racing a marathon. Because especially if you are in the UK and you're training for a spring marathon, you're going to be training through the cold winter months when you might have terrible weather to navigate, you might have colds and flu and injuries and lots of different setbacks to navigate. Now, those setbacks are almost an inevitable part of marathon training. So it's not the setbacks that are the problem, it's how you deal with them. And if you are somebody who has developed resilience, you've got yourself to the stage where you can acknowledge that something less than ideal has happened and that it's okay to feel disappointed about that situation, and then move on from that fact to say, okay, right, what are we going to do now? I've just come back from running Comrades in South Africa. I trained for more than 6 months for this race. I spent quite a lot of money getting myself there. I worked really hard for a certain time that I wanted to achieve, but unfortunately I picked up a horrendous cold just a few days before the race, and I was really poorly, and so I had to let the time that I wanted to get go and just focus on securing a finish, which got me my back-to-back medal. And I firmly believe that dealing with all of those setbacks that I've had in various areas of my life really helped me with kind of making that decision and securing the medal, which was really important. So each of those kind of disappointments and rejections that you get in life, you can use them, you can like store them away in a mental filing cabinet. Courtney DeWalter, the amazing ultra runner, she talks about this, having this mental filing cabinet of experiences that you've had in the past that you can draw on when things get tough. So feeling the sting of disappointment and knowing that you were able to move on from that, and actually maybe something even better happened as a result, that will give you the reassurance that you need in the future when stuff happens that is out of your control and you have to find a way of dealing with it. Okay, so point 5 is you can't choose your circumstances, you can only choose how you can respond. I spoke to somebody yesterday who hadn't entered the ballot because she'd never been successful in previous years. And that really frustrated me, to be honest. But it's a very understandable form of self-sabotage, because sometimes our instinctive response to rejection and to disappointment is to hold ourselves back from situations like that in the future where there's potential for the same disappointment, for the same thing to happen. And we think we're keeping ourselves safe. We think we're preventing disappointment, where all we're doing is guaranteeing that we'll be disappointed. We're guaranteeing that we'll be disappointed not just in the outcome, but we'll probably be disappointed in ourselves for not having the courage to put ourselves out there in the first place. And I'm talking about much broader things here than marathon ballots. It could be going for a job promotion. It could be asking someone out. Life is a game of chance. So it is important to kind of acknowledge the fact that you're disappointed and how you're feeling about that. Hopefully you don't need to spend any money on therapy to process this disappointment. It's not the end of the world, but do journal it, do go for a run, do have a chat with a friend, do just spend a minute thinking about it and work out what you want to do next, and realise that whilst you can't control the outcome, you can control what you do next. And by thinking about why it is you're disappointed, you'll get the information you need to make the right choice. And whatever you decide to do, I'm here to help. So do get in touch and let me know how I can do that. And I'll see you in the next video.